Be honest, who in here has been bogged down and plagued by their negative thoughts and emotions? And better yet, how did you feel when you knew you could not do anything about it? Anger, maybe distrust, guilt, all these what was that? Frustration. But believe it or not, that may be a misconception because actually our thoughts are within our realm of control. We do control and create our, as Lacey said, our reality based on the level of our thinking, right? They say if you change your life, you must change the way you think, and we must incorporate better thoughts on a daily basis. Peak performers say that 80% of our success is due to our psychology, and only 20% is mechanics. And mechanics only include how-to information, but the way we feel about ourselves, our self-confidence, our perceptions, that really is a determining factor for our results and to take us to the next level. And the way our mind works, it's just very fascinating. Do you know how many neurons we have? We have more neurons in our brain than there are stars in the galaxy. So our brain is a complex structure. It's an electronic switching station. And peak performers have said that our thoughts lead to our feelings. And our feelings lead to our actions, and our actions lead to our results. So any results that we see in our lives is a direct correlation from our thoughts. That's how powerful it is. That being said, I have a simple system, and this is actually, who in here has heard of Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul series? Oh, great. So he has a great simple system to wipe out those negative thoughts and emotions for good. Who's on board for wiping out the negative thoughts and emotions for good? Say aye. Aye. All right. And is everyone all in on this? All in. Okay. When I say all in, I want you to repeat all in after me. Are you guys all in? All in. Awesome. So this is a unique framework. And personally, I like to keep things simple, stupid. Okay? You will not believe how simple it is. We can apply this tactic as soon as you walk out the door, and it's really changed my perception and how I view the world. So I would like each and every one of you to write down 4 things, just 4 letters, and I'll define each acronym. C, R, R, A. C, R, R, A. Now, the first C stands for cancel. Did you know that a negative thought and a positive thought cannot occupy the mind at the same time? This is fascinating. This actually came from Napoleon Hill. Has anyone heard of the book Think and Grow Rich? Yeah, he says a negative thought and a positive thought cannot occupy the mind at the same time. So when a negative thought comes in, it could be a whole array of negative thoughts. I'm a loser. My life sucks. Sally's a jerk. So, is there any Sallys in the room? All right. Good. I'm safe. All right. So, whatever it may be, right, negative emotions are experienced in the workplace, personal life, professional life. Everyone's at risk in that respect. So, when we say cancel, what we are doing is when we interrupt the pattern. And our words do have an effect. So, when we say cancel out loud, that interrupts the negative thought pattern from persisting and penetrating, because every thought impulse that we have can be translated into a physical equivalent. This is very fascinating. Now, when we say cancel, when we just say it one time, let's say a negative thought comes in, my life sucks, I'm a loser. I say cancel. Saying it one time will not work, unfortunately. So this is what should happen. Let's say negative thought comes in. You may be driving in your car on your way home from work. Negative thought comes in, I'm a loser, my life sucks, whatever it may be. You say cancel, 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 cancel as many times. And then as many times as you can until you notice the thought dissipating. So let's say the thought comes in, I'm a loser, you say cancel, 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 cancel. And once you feel that dead weight lifted off your shoulders, that is when you know you are on the right track. Okay, cancel. Now your mind will feel wide open. Once the mind is wide open, this is where the next R comes in, reframe. So reframe just simply means now you've canceled out that negative thought. We must substitute a positive thought. in replace of that negative thought, which is called an affirmation. Has anyone heard the term affirmations? Positive affirmations. Okay, so we must substitute that in with a positive affirmation. So let's say I have a negative thought, I am a loser. What's the first thing I should do? Great. And how would you reframe that statement or phrase? I'm a loser. All right, I'm a winner. So you would reframe it by substituting the positive affirmation, I am a winner. And once that happens, you must not only say it once or twice, but how many times should you repeat that affirmation? Until you feel it, right? Until you believe it. What's the saying? You tell yourself a lie long enough, it becomes what? Right? We can also do this with we can retrain our brain. There's a term in neuroscience called neuroplasticity. And our brains are changeable, and we can reprogram, restructure those grooves that we have, habits and thoughts, okay? Habits begin with our thought habits first. So once you substitute in that affirmation, we must say those affirmations, not in a manner where we walk up in the mirror, right? Some people do mirror work, right? Is this the appropriate way to say an affirmation? I walk up into the mirror, the thought comes in, I'm a loser, I say cancel, walk up in the mirror and I say, I'm a winner. I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. Does that cut it, folks? Right. In that spirit, my affirmations will become useless. So we must say our affirmations with confidence, certainty, courage, clarity, and conviction. I call those the 5 C's. Understands there may be a lot of writing there, but it's confidence, certainty, courage, clarity, and conviction. So then afterwards, this is the next R. The next R is repeat. So cancel, reframe, then repeat. Ladies and gentlemen, how long does it take on average to change a habit? Right, studies have been varied across the board, but on average, 30 to 60 to 90 days, depending on the degree of what it is that you want to change, the habit that you want to change. So again, like I said, habits are first formed with your habitual thinking patterns, right? Because your thoughts lead to feelings, and your feelings lead to what, ladies and gentlemen? Good. Behavior, actions, and then that ultimately leads to what? Good. Outcomes or results. So when we repeat that, right, that's why I said it's not something that you say your affirmation, you say for a day, for a week, and now you started to change your brain patterns. No. We must say these and repeat these things for 30 days straight minimum. Then you will start to notice a change in your behavior. What I have done personally is I've recorded myself. Not only have I written out my affirmations, 7 pages long, single space typed, I've also recorded myself reading all my affirmations to myself. My recording's about 15 minutes long. I have a little smartphone recording app, and as I'm driving in long commutes, I'm a trainer, I travel a lot, so that really helps me reprogram my brain. It gives me time to have that meditative experience. So I encourage us all to write out our affirmations. And a simple process, if it's difficult for us to come up with affirmations, is write out all the negative thoughts you're thinking in that moment, cross them out, and simply write an exact opposite positive statement. And that can be your new affirmation that you read on a daily basis. And then the last part of this equation is action. CRRA. Cancel, reframe, repeat, action. I'm not a believer in, there's 2 diseases I feel that we may be plagued with time to time. One disease is called, and it's as common as the common cold, excusitis. The second disease, or maybe it's what I would call a curse maybe, is there are people out there that may be always hoping and wishing. So I call that hopium. Hoping and wishing all day long. So I do believe that the things that you want to manifest begin with the level of thinking, right? Who in here has heard of the law of attraction? What you think and feel, you create and manifest. I do believe in that. But the last word of the phrase, law of attraction, the last word of that attraction is action. Law of action, right? You first plant the seed, but what must you do to the seed to make the plant grow? Exactly. And then there's a gestation period, and then that manifests. But you have to take action for the things or the results that you want to manifest. So let's repeat together. So when you have a negative emotion or thought that comes in, what must you do first? What do you do after that? And then what should you continuously do? And then lastly, you must take what? All right, I hope you take and apply this as soon as possible. This has changed my life, and I'm sure it will change yours. So thank you.